The following program is made possible by a grant from the Merle S. and Bessie Evans Mather Foundation, Incorporated, of Lincoln, Nebraska. Light from an electrical storm. Brief, intense, and totally unpredictable. Imagine a piece of this light energy captured in a bottle, to be released at the push of a button. That's precisely the power of the electronic strobe, and it was developed in 1927 by a young MIT professor.
Introducing Dr. Harold E. Edgerton of the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. His stroboscope light, my friends, is really something. It's used to unscramble engineering problems, and it's put the super in super speed photography.
Your eyes aren't designed for speed. You shoot a bullet through here, you won't even see it. You won't know anything about it at all. So you have to have strobe.
Happy birthday, dear Johnny. Happy birthday to you.
Okay, blow out the candles.
The electronic strobe. We use it daily to record personal memories, to freeze and analyze motion, as a beacon of safety, and on occasion, to capture sights unseen. The human eye could never see a sight like this without the split-second light of the strobe. To illustrate, Dr. Edgerton prepares his camera to take a high-speed photograph of a bullet at the very moment it splits a playing card in two. The sound waves of the speeding bullet will trigger the strobe, and the strobe's brief flash provides the exposure that takes the picture. Lights out.
You have to have a strobe to see it. So why not call it a magic lamp? What's magic lamp mean to you? It's does something that you never saw before. It dazzles you. Well, that's what it does. From a photographic standpoint, if you never used an electronic flash lamp and you suddenly had one, you'd say, hey, this is terrific. Look at all the things it can do.
Is this before the drop hit, or is it after the drop hit?
After one drop.
Same sort of thing.
People like it because it puts the action into a form that's frozen so that you can recognize what's happening.
There's also an aesthetic quality of beauty in motion, and that is increasing.
It's supposed to be real art. Well, I don't care. That's all right. If they want to call it art, well, they call it art. Well, I really think of myself as a more electrical engineer. I want to get the message across.
The strobe's
It's
gone
an
off.
educational experience.
The strobe went off at the time he let go of the arrow.
Well, high-speed photography really started a long time ago. The first photography was ever done was by a fellow in England named Fox Talbot.
To demonstrate that photographs could be made of fast-moving objects, Talbot used the flash of an electric spark from a laden battery to freeze the image of the London Times, which had been fastened to a rapidly revolving wheel. The year was 1851, and this was the first unblurred stop-action photograph. 33 years later, Ernst Mach produced silhouette pictures of a bullet in flight, which showed the bullet's heat and sound waves. By the turn of the century, spark photography was well established. In his studies of splashes, physics professor A.M. Worthington made these photographs at 1/100,000th of a second. While audiences were amazed by these results, the spark technique was impractical. The light emitted from the sparks was too dim, and the apparatus was confined to the laboratory. It wasn't until the early 1930s that results such as this 1/1,000,000th of a second exposure of a milk drop were achieved by an electronic strobe created by Dr. Edgerton. But it was not to freeze a splash of milk that Dr. Edgerton designed the strobe. Instead, it was to solve an engineering problem. In the mid-1920s, Edgerton went to MIT to study synchronous motors. He needed a way to observe parts that moved so quickly that they were a blur, and it was for this purpose that he invented something new, an incredibly brief, controllable, and repeatable flash.
Well, I had to have it to measure this motor because it happened. The things happening so quickly that I couldn't record them. So this thing took pictures in 10 microseconds at controlled intervals of time. And once you had it, why, everything was easy. I'd worked for 3 years on motors, and I suddenly realized, hey, there's a lot of things in the world that move. And I looked around, and there was a faucet over there, just right next to where I was working. So I just moved the strobe over and took a picture of this water coming out of the faucet. And that was the first picture I ever took, except for a motor.
And Edgerton found that there were other ways to study motion. By repeatedly flashing a strobe, he could create multiple images on a single photograph.
Hello, Sandy.
Here's how it works.
So I want you to say hello to Ellen Dixon.
Hi.
Sandy Young, she's going to do some acrobatics for the motor flash. And be sure to watch. You're going to run the camera for them. I'm going to run the light. We're going to make a team. Try to catch her in the air. As you come over here, be careful. We're getting you up in the air a little bit so you get a picture from a low camera.
Okay.
And be sure to hit that corner over there as you come down. And this light, I want to see you do it first, just like you're going to do it, so Ellen can judge it. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Perfect. Now, this time I'm going to flash the light on you.
Okay.
And don't get excited when it flashes when you're upside down there. Just ignore the light. Ready? All right, go. Fine. Now we're going to make it more difficult. We're going to turn out all the lights and open the shutter when I say open, and then we'll take a series of pictures of her on the film. Get ready. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. So that's all there is to motor flash photography, getting the right light, and the right subject, and the right film, and the right flashes all together, and then you get a nice picture. All the high school kids use flash. Everybody uses flash. It comes free. It's like the sun. It's there. Shoot.
On this fall day in his hometown of Aurora, Nebraska, Doc has chanced upon a
22
photographer
years.
who is a fan of his work.
What's that blinking light you got on that thing?
That's a strobe light invented by a guy by the name of Edgerton, I think, way back in the 1800s, wasn't it? No, I don't remember when he did that, but it was a fantastic invention.
Oh, that was just last week, that invention came.
Is that right?
Yeah, well, strobe lights are modern.
They are.
They didn't have them in the old days. They were all made in Boston, in Cambridge. And I designed them, and we built them, and had the lamps made, and we were trying to get Eastman to sell them.
Yeah, well,
That worked out pretty well.
well, I don't remember if it was 40 or 41, but I know that my dad bought one of the
Yeah.
very first sets. And
Well, it was
we
right
still,
just before the war.
yeah.
And when the war came along,
65 years earlier, Harold Edgerton was a high school student here in Aurora. He was born in Fremont, Nebraska. Later, his family moved to Washington, D.C., but they preferred small-town life. So in 1916, Doc came back to Nebraska, to Aurora. Then, as now, the courthouse was a landmark of the town.
there were 4 200-watt lamps up there. And they used to burn out. And I had a job in the electric light plant, so I would have to come down and climb up the stairs and reach out way out over unscrew that bulb. I can still remember it's a long ways down. After I graduated from high school here, I went down to the University of Nebraska because I was interested in electricity. I intended to go back and work for the electric light people here. And my father said I ought to go east and go to MIT. Well, I never heard of the place, but I asked a student from Aurora who'd gone to Harvard whether he'd heard of it, and he said, oh, yeah. He said, looked me in the eye and said, they only take smart people. I didn't take the hint.
And it was a good thing, too, because it was during the course of his graduate studies in electrical engineering that Doc designed and developed the strobe. The first prototype was ready by 1931, and with the help of 2 former students, Herbert Greer and Kenneth Germeshausen, it wasn't long before there were a whole battery of magic lights for many specialized uses. Doc soon realized that strobes could be used to make high-speed movies. He designed a new type of camera, one that could whip film through at 1,000 frames per second in synchronization with a pulsing strobe. Once again, he drew upon everyday life for his subject matter. People had never seen movies like these before. News spread far and wide about Doc's invention, and before long, a man from Hollywood came calling.
He said, I work for MGM, and I'd like to invite you to come to Hollywood and show this camera to all of our people, and we'll take some pictures with it, and maybe we'll make a short with Pete Smith, who was their comedian.
The film was called Quicker'n a Wink, and it won a 1936 Academy Award for MGM.
First, Charlie Lacey will hit the ball through this telephone book. Maybe. Here it comes. Wow, look at that. Charlie has ruined a lot of good names, and good phone numbers, too. Woo-hoo. I always thought that my cat, in lapping her milk, curled her tongue up. But now it's revealed that she curls her tongue down. See? In other words, she brings the milk up on the underside of her tongue. Now, see how smart you get when you go to the movie? Most of you have heard, and perhaps have even felt, that cute little drill. Ooh. Wow, there it goes. And so it is with this happy thought that we reluctantly bid farewell to stroboscope and sail into the setting sun.
Years later, Doc and his colleagues added the finishing touch, matching slow motion sound to high-speed pictures. These days, Doc uses a modern version of his early high-speed camera to film a slow-motion sequence of milk drops falling onto a plate.
Now, ready to fill up the dripper. Well, we're going to try to make this milk drop splash into a crown shape on a plate. So I'll put this plate on here, and then I'll let the drop come down. The first drop will give me some milk to work on, and then the second one will hit the first drop and make the crown.
These appear to be a series of colored drops filmed in slow motion. But the slow motion is just an illusion. Actually, what we are seeing is a stream of water pumped in pulses, splashing onto a metallic plate at normal speed. The individual drops are revealed by a strobe flashing at the same rate as the pulsing of the pump. Doc calls it his piddler machine, and he has more than one.
What it is a pump pumping some water with a little dye in it, and it looks like a continuous stream. But if you shine a light on it that's flashing 60 times a second, it shows that it's actually a series of drops because the pump is working intermittently. And you can make it appear to go either down or up by changing the frequency of the light.
I used to play with this a lot.
And the exhibit in the hall is 2 push buttons.
Therapeutic. And I was a continuous stream.
The visitors can push one, gives them ordinary light, and they push the other button, gives them strobe light. Or they can push the 2 buttons together.
Play with it if you want.
Doc has a portable piddler which he takes with him when he travels to demonstrate the strobe. Today, he visits a restaurant in his hometown of Aurora.
Come on over a little closer. You gotta be close. You can't be standoffish in this business. You ready?
Yes.
You ready?
Yes.
Okay. Now watch it real close.
Isn't that pretty? When you show the light on it, that's what causes it.
But your eyes can't tell it. Your eyes are no good for anything that moves fast. I like to see people recognize that they've seen something they never saw before and that they've learned something. Their eyes open up and they're so awed by what they see. That's a good educational shock.
Now watch it. Oh, hey, don't go away. You ready? Turn the knob makes a difference. The whistle has nothing to do with it. Now you fellas, since you've been so cooperative, you got a prize. Yeah. One for you.
Thank you.
One for you. That's the way we make applesauce back here at MIT. But we don't recommend it.
Like you take a picture of a bullet, you go in a dark room, you put the camera on bulb, you open the camera up, the bullet comes through, sound hits the microphone, turns the light on for a minute of a second, makes your exposure, then you close the shutter and change the film.
Ever since I've been here, I've been giving lecture demonstrations. I drag in all kinds of equipment, run it, and let the students see it. My argument is that that's the way to get to the real world, is to go out and work with it.
And now I want to demonstrate this big strobe over here. Would you like to see a big one? Okay, here's a big one. And this is a strobe light. This is not a portable job. You don't attach this to the camera. But this was made in the war when we were having trouble with the Germans, and we used to want to know what they were doing at nighttime. Well, you fly over France and Germany and see what they're doing.
Throughout World War II, tracking the progress of enemy troops in daytime was always difficult, but at night it was almost impossible. The only method of observing the enemy at night was to take photographs from an airplane, using leftover flash powder bombs from World War I as the light source. But this technique was far from perfect, and in their search for something better, the Army contacted Edgerton. The year was 1938.
Well, one Saturday afternoon, we were down in the lab here working, and a fellow came in and said, where's that blinking light that I hear about? And I said, it's all right there.
The man was Colonel George W. Goddard of the Army Air Corps. He wanted Edgerton to create a new type of strobe, one that would be powerful enough to enable pictures to be taken from an airplane flying a mile high. Doc and his associates went to work on the top-secret project. The end result was a 57,000 watt-second strobe package, powered by 8 kilowatts and weighing 3,700 pounds. Its power was impressive.
You ready to go, Bill?
As Edgerton enjoys demonstrating.
All right, get ready. 1, 2, 3, push. Burn up my yardstick.
Preliminary tests were made, and Doc went to war to assemble a squadron of night photo pilots. But the pilots resisted. They would rather fight the war than take pictures of it.
So we had a morale problem. Couldn't get anybody to fly. That's when I worked up that nudist camp story. I heard about this nudist camp out near England, there somewhere near London. And I found the coordinates, so I knew exactly where it was. And I was told I want the volunteers to go out and take some pictures. And immediately they perked right up. And, and they flew so low that people on the ground were spelling out things with the towels to say, reporting you. It was a lot of fun. And they finally got interested in it because it's a real challenge.
The Americans had been won over, but he still had to convince the European pilots that strobes were better than flash bombs.
We had a big meeting up in London somewhere. Everybody sat around the table and drank coffee and finally said, hey, there's too much talk. You're not enough action. Why don't we go out and take some target? And you try your no-good system, and we'll try ours, and we'll see if it's as bad. And that appealed to them. So they said, well, we don't know what target to try. Well, I said, I can suggest one that nobody will complain about in the slightest. And they said, what's that? And it's Stonehenge. I said, it's out in the country, there's no lights around it, nobody lives out there, and it's a nice big thing, and it's easy to photograph. We'll take night photos of Stonehenge.
The challenge was met, and this photograph of Stonehenge was taken from the air. At the same time, Edgerton got this shot from the ground by opening the shutter of his camera in time for the flash. It was clear that the strobe system was superior. The value of the aerial strobe was dramatically demonstrated the night before the invasion of Normandy, June 6, 1944. The photos showed little or no movement of enemy troops, indicating that the Germans were unprepared for the invasion.
The clouds were down about 1,000 feet, and the flash bombs couldn't be used at all because they were designed to be working at 10,000 feet. So those pictures were useful. They were used all during the war.
The atomic bomb brought about an end to World War II, and it ushered in an era of nuclear research. This time, Edgerton was called upon for his expertise in high-speed photography. The Atomic Energy Commission began above-ground testing of atomic explosions on Pacific islands like Enewetak Atoll. They asked Edgerton and his associates, Germeshausen and Greer, to form a company, which later became EG&G, and to design a testing camera to analyze nuclear explosions.
High-speed cameras capable of taking several million separate pictures per second are placed close to zero point. They will record the story of nuclear forces from a vantage point where man himself dares not stand.
10 seconds, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Edgerton's cameras also revealed the devastating effects of atomic blasts on test structures.
If you're working with anything, and you want to understand it, you've got to see it and record it and learn all about it.
If you blow up an atom bomb, it happens instantly. Most shutters are way too slow, so we built some magneto-optic shutters that work in a millionth of a second. I had a long focus telescope, and you want to know what's going on in the early stages. No, we're scientists working on the facts. Our role is to find out everything we can about the thing. And that was where it started. EG&G Incorporated started right after the war as a in-house captive thing for the nuclear energy. And we hired a lot of people, and we set off a lot of atom bombs and did a lot of experimental things. And then suddenly one day we had a agreement with the Russians not to have any more atom bombs. All my friends came around here and said, oh, it's too bad your company's going down the drain because the Russians and Americans are going to not do it anymore. And I said, oh yeah? I learned a lot long ago not to get excited when people panic. Well, that was the best year we ever had because all the people got up early in the morning and started thinking about other things to do. And was all kinds of things to do.
One of those new projects was bird photography.
All right, let him go. Terrific.
Well, birds are awfully hard to catch, to get them timed and get them in front of the camera and get them photographed. You have to have strobe to get real sharp, distinctive pictures of the wingtips that are going high velocity.
But as spectacular as these photographs were, Doc had a hard time finding someone to publish them. Until one evening.
I went to Rochester, New York to a cocktail party, and there was a bunch of people up there in this old Eastman house. And over in the corner was an old gray-haired man standing all by himself drinking a ginger ale. So I went over and had a ginger ale and went over and talked to him. And I said, my name's Harold Edgerton. He said, mine is Gilbert Grosvenor. And I said, Gilbert Grosvenor? I said, aren't you the fellow that runs that Yellowback magazine down here in Washington? Yeah, he said. Well, I said, I'm glad to meet you because I've been writing letters to you for about 2 years now. And I get back these bedbug letters saying, no, we don't. And he said, what was it about? And I said, it's about bird photography. There's a new method of photography that's going to photograph birds with the wings sharp and clear. He says, is that right? We says, from now on, send all the letters marked to me personal. And from then on, I had a friend in the house. And Geographic has been full of bird pictures.
From the quick-moving world of birds, Doc turned his strobe to the undersea world, where movement was sometimes imperceptible.
I built 3 units, and we were going to go out and steady the sediments in the harbor, because every day the tides are going in, tides coming out, and they're taking the mud and moving it around. And I was going to put those down there and learn how that mud moves. Well, it just shows that landlubber can't visualize what's going on in the sea because the bottom doesn't move. It's the mud goes through, and the gravel stays, and it's covered by all kinds of wildlife down there. And lo and behold, these movies were okay. But they showed starfish and all kinds of things walking around on the bottom. The human being is no good for looking at starfish. If you look at a starfish sitting on the bottom, he just sits there. That's because your time reference frame is no good. He's actually moving very slowly. And when you speed him up 200 times, he's going around doing all kinds of things.
One thing just led to another, because I got a telephone call that said there was some unknown man come in from France, a young Frenchman with a big nose and named Jacques Cousteau. Nobody ever heard of him, but he's here, and could he come up and talk to you about underwater photography? Well, I said, sure, I'll talk to anybody. So he came in, and I found out he'd invented the Aqualung, and he hadn't been in MIT more than a couple hours before we had a tank on his back, and he was testing my latest underwater strobe in the swimming pool. And that led to many, many expeditions on the Calypso and a lot of articles in the Geographic. When you go out in the ocean, you look around, you see nothing but water. You know that down the bottom there's all kinds of interesting things happening down there. We took pictures of the bottom of the sea. Up to that time, very few pictures had been made of the bottom of the sea, showing what's down there.
But to explore the vastness of the ocean proved difficult for strobe photography alone. Strobes could illuminate only small areas, and if the water was murky, the pictures were no good at all. A new tool was needed. Enter sonar. Sonar devices have long been used aboard ships to measure the water depth beneath them. They send out electronic signals which hit bottom and echo back again. Edgerton found that sonar could be used to make pictures with sound, just as photographs are made with light. At Boston's Charles River, he developed and tested a whole new array of sonar devices. One called a boomer or pinger penetrates the underwater mud to reveal objects below.
Okay, now your end goes forward, right. Yeah, let it down about 3 feet.
Things that are in the water that reflect sound, and things that are below the bottom that reflect sound. Doesn't seem to be any end to it.
That's right.
And once we developed this machine, this simple little invention is marvelous for helping everybody.
Another of Edgerton's sonar inventions, the fish, is a side scanner used to locate objects which project above the bottom of the sea.
1, 2, 3, go.
Doc and his assistant, Bill McRoberts, demonstrate.
Now this on the sonar record should go closer and closer. We'll leave it up there a little while. That's enough. We always do this test before we go out to sea. If it's working, we should be able to see the ceiling. There's the ceiling. Here's the bump. Everything's checked out. All we do now is wrap it up and get ready to ship. So it's interpretation of these marks when you put it in the sea that tell you where the shipwrecks are, and rocks, mud, sand, and other things. I was in Athens with Cousteau on the Calypso, and he came in one day and said, "Is that side scan sonar good for picking up a ship that's 1,000 feet long? Think you can find it?" Well, I said, "If I can't, we better go home. With the sonar, you ought to be able to find it in no time."
Their target was the HMS Britannic, a sister ship of the famed Titanic. Launched just 6 months before World War I, it too was doomed, sunk by a German mine off the coast of Greece. Edgerton joined Cousteau and the Calypso in their filmed search for the Britannic.
Hour after hour, under the watchful eye of Dr. Harold Edgerton, famed electronics inventor, the sonar signals reveal a lengthening profile of the sea bounty.
Then we went out and looked. The next time we found it. It was a long ways from where anybody ever thought. There it was, just as clear and sharp. And Cousteau dived on it and took a movie on it. It's one of his specialty movies. Fantastic. He dived on it with his little submarine. Because it's about 350 feet deep. With his submarine, he could do it.
And there were other wrecks to find. Closer to home, Edgerton used his side scanner to search for the elusive USS Monitor. The Civil War battle between the USS Monitor and the Confederate Merrimac became legendary in maritime history. The two ironclad ships fought to a standoff, each claiming victory. But about a year later, the Monitor fell victim to a storm and sunk off the coast of Cape Hatteras, North Carolina. It remained there for more than 100 years.
The Monitor was a Civil War ship that was sunk long, long time ago. A very famous ship. It had a marvelous history. And the question was, where is the Monitor? And lots of people had looked for it, and they claimed they found it. But when they went back, other people went back, there was nothing there. So it was like Loch Ness Monster. I mean, a lot of people have seen it, but you can't go back and pull the body out and exhibit it. So I knew that the Monitor had to be somewhere, and the question was how to find it. We discovered the Monitor with a side scan sonar, and that's a sample of the side scan sonar. That's the kind that found it. This ship confused them a long time because the turret is underneath it, and it tipped over and the turret fell off. Finally, the archaeologist said, no, that ship's upside down. When it went down, it tipped over and it went down, boing, on its tail end and broke the propeller off. This is the boiler. And then it fell down on top of the turret.
That's an awfully sharp picture.
And there it was, revealed for the first time by underwater cameras.
Excellent shots. Look at that. Some of those corals are really quite large, aren't they? They are.
Well, that's a good shot of the gun port. We really got it. Yeah, it looks really good, Richard. Looks good.
Edgerton's notebooks are full of the records of his success. But as every scientist knows, for each experiment that works, there are many failures.
Every experiment's a success, and the ones that don't work are really more important than the ones that do work, because you can check them off. And I think that's one of the things that students need to learn, is that most of the things you do in life are a failure. When you find out what the failures are, and then you don't do it that way next time.
Right now I'm working on raindrops. The student I'm working with and I want to know, why aren't raindrops bigger than a certain size?
Okay, you ready?
I'm ready. Let's go.
Okay, everything's on.
Everything's on.
Okay, go.
Terrific. Looks like you got it.
Well, let's develop the film and see what happens. The thing I really like about working with Doc is that he doesn't feel like he needs to have $500,000 worth of expensive equipment to do the sort of research that he likes to do. All the questions that he likes to answer, all the questions that he asks are fundamental questions about what occurs in nature, things that people haven't seen before, things that people, that at least he's interested in seeing.
Turn on the lights, Peter.
Each new roll of film that we develop is a chance to learn something new about the thing that we're studying. We first started on this problem over the summer, and all we were doing was we were pouring water down a staircase in one of the buildings over here at MIT. Just Doc downstairs with a camera and me upstairs with a pump, and we were spraying it over the edge of a railing. And as we got more and more involved with this, it got more sophisticated.
Well, we got a more uniform exposure with that heavier diffuser. Keep putting scratches on the film here.
It's an exciting process for Doc because for Doc, it's a chance to learn something he hasn't learned yet.
Here we go. Here we go. Look out now.
He wants to turn on the lights even before the film is fixed completely, just because he wants to see it already. And even when the film hasn't cleared and is still white in the fixer, and I'm cringing because I'm thinking about, oh no, the film's going to be ruined. He's got it up against the light, and he's looking at it with his loop, and he's saying, hey, look at that, that's really great. Okay, so here comes the drop, falling through the field. Kabam!
Beautiful, look at that. Now it's breaking away into small drops.
Right.
Beautiful.
He's got a lot of ideas that he wants to follow through with, and when he wants to do something, he says, well, come on, let's go. And when he doesn't want to do something, he says, well, I'm retired. And that's how he gets out of a lot of things, that it gives him the free time. In a sense, he's more happy now that he's retired than when he had to teach class and had to go to faculty committee meetings and stuff like that.
Okay, I think you know that we're having an open house for our graduate students in September. You might want to log that into your...
What's the date?
September
When I
29th.
first came to MIT, I walked into Doc Edgerton's office and I found his whole life work here displayed before me. And when I went out into our laboratory, I found all of the things that have interested him, from high-speed photography to sonars. He's a many-faceted man, and many people that meet him are able to identify with him.
And he gets the echoes back.
Many students come here and think that there is nothing left to be done. Everything has been found, everything has been invented, and he doesn't believe that.
And this particular bat took his own picture by flying through this beam of light. And I was really proud of this, and I took it into my class, and one kid in the back says, hey, why don't you try to get a picture of the bat catching a bug? And I said, well, that's impossible. It's enough trouble just to get the bat in the focus, but to get the bug in the bat. So the next class, this student came in with a worm-shooting cannon. That's Dave Callender, and here's his worm-shooting cannon. So there's no problem to get a bat and a worm. See it? See it? No problem.
All right, move it just a little bit. And just a trifle more. That's good.
I've worked with Doc for nearly 35 years. Doc is always the leader, and he knows what he wants to do, and he wants to do it quickly. Doc looks at time in terms of microseconds, and a student will come in and he'll ask for some of Doc's time, and Doc will say, okay, I'll give you 5 microseconds.
Well, I think having an interest in something is very important in life. You have to get up in the morning and want to do it. And I used to tell people, if you don't wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and want to do something, why, you're wasting your time. Time is very precious. We're wasting it right now. I got through to you, didn't I?
The preceding program was made possible by a grant from the Merle S. and Bessie Evans Mather Foundation, Incorporated, of Lincoln, Nebraska.